Hey guys, let's continue with the timeline series. This is number 10, part 2, and it will be primarily a recap. So I'm just doing this off of the top of my head, so if I forget something important, I'm sorry, just throw it in the comment section for us. So let's see. In January of 2010, it appears that Christopher Watt's wife was accused of something nefarious to do with embezzlement. In May of 2010, she would later claim that she was diagnosed with 3 serious diseases all in 1 week. There was lupus, fibromyalgia, and then that one that I don't know how to pronounce. It's SJ something. SJOR, I think. I don't know what it is. Over that summer, I think she took part in a fundraiser. I think that's the one where she said that if you're making a cash donation, then you can just give it to her and she'll make sure that she turns it over to the Lupus Foundation for you. I think it was over that summer also that she was saying that she wanted to get out of there, that she wanted a one-way ticket. I can't remember what she said, something like a one-way ticket to a place where nobody knew her or something like that. And then in August, she met Christopher Watts. And remember, when he met her, he had a pretty hefty savings account. He had a really good job that paid very well. He had his own place. He had his muscle car that he loved. And just a short time later, she quit her job. Like, I'm talking, like, what was it, 3 or 4 weeks later, she quit her job. Even though she had a mortgage to pay, she up and quit her job. When she met Christopher Watts, he told her that he wanted to start a family, that was important to him. He wanted to be able to have children. And she told him that she wanted to have 10 children. So let's see, a few weeks later, she quits her job. And then a few months later, she advertised on some website to be a babysitter, and she was hired to babysit 1 child. That was a job that she had for, I think, 3 months before the woman who she worked for accepted a nursing position out in Colorado and moved away. So in February of 2011, she was out of work again at that point because the family she was babysitting for had moved away. And I think it's really interesting that in June of 2011, she announced that she wanted to be a nurse too. And do you remember how tough it was for people to get into the nursing programs back then? And Christopher Watts' girlfriend at the time didn't have any prereqs going on. She didn't have any 2-year degree going on, but somehow, miracle of miracles, she announced that she was accepted into a 4 years in 2 program that she called the ASN program at the Presbyterian School of Nursing. There's just one problem. We've been digging in and we cannot find that the Presbyterian School of Nursing offered that program in 2011 or in 2012. So in December, she claimed that she was starting the program in January and that she was buying her books. And then on January 10th of 2012, she claimed she was starting classes in that program at the Presbyterian School of Nursing that we haven't been able to substantiate yet even existed. The school existed, don't get me wrong, but this storyline of 4 years and 2 for an ASN program for somebody who didn't even have a 2-year degree or any prereqs, I don't think so. So let's see. Well, I guess it's not a big deal anyway, because a few months later she was hightailing into Colorado, right? She told her by then fiance now, Christopher Watts, that she was told by her doctor that she needed to move to Colorado for her health challenges. So he got a job out in Colorado, and then in July, his employer hired her too. I don't know if she worked full-time or part-time, but evidently Christopher Watts' employer gave her a job. The end of that year, Christopher Watts bought the house, and then I think like a month later they got married. And let's see, 4 months later they got pregnant with Bella, which, didn't she have to have fertility treatments? That's a pretty amazing fertility treatment specialist, I think, for her to be pregnant in just 4 months, right? That's a short time, really, I would think, for any fertility specialist to think that she needed treatments. Interesting. And then when Bella was just 10 months old, she got pregnant again, which is surprising too, because I thought fertility specialists wanted you to wait at least a year between babies. I don't know. To me, it seems kind of like that nursing program, and kind of like all of those diseases too, and kind of like all those accusations against Christopher Watts' family. I think when she met that lady that she was babysitting for, I think she began to emulate her life, wanting it for her own. I think she was like a chameleon who took on the shades of her environment. I just think it's kind of strange that somebody who never posted publicly anyway that they wanted to be a nurse suddenly wanted to become a nurse a few months after babysitting for an actual nurse. So anyway, let's see. Miracle of miracles. Pregnant with Cece when Bella was just 10 months old. And then when Cece was born, that was right when they were filing their hefty bankruptcy. We were told that the bankruptcy had to be done because of all of her medical bills, because of all of her illnesses and diseases and conditions, what she called her health challenges. But then we read the bankruptcy docs, and we were, of course, surprised to learn that evidently Macy's and JCP at some point had become healthcare providers. So let's fast forward to December of 2016, which is where we left off with the other timeline. Series number 10, part 1. Both of the girls were very sick. In fact, I believe that both of them had to be hospitalized. If not, I think one of them had to be hospitalized and the other one had to be seen in the emergency room. And if you look closely, there just seems something kind of strange about that whole time frame. Because you know that friend that she seemed to want to copy? Well, a short time after the girls were so sick in December, that friend stopped commenting on her Facebook. And she had been a regular commenter, okay? In fact, she was the friend who held a fundraiser for Christopher Watts' wife when her grandmother was ill in order to raise money to pay for her plane tickets. No kidding. But then after the girls were so sick in December of 2016, it looks like there was just one time that that friend, who was her maid of honor, had any contact with her. And I'm not sure on the time frames of when Christopher Watts' in-laws were living right in the house for 15 months straight. But it does appear that both girls were put into daycare 5 days per week shortly after that hospital stay. I'd actually like to stop the time frame right now until our next video and just ask you to consider what you think may have happened in that time frame of, say, December 2016 till February of 2017. Doesn't that seem kind of strange? That a stay-at-home mom, at least a woman who claimed she was a stay-at-home mom, would be placing 2 young children in daycare 5 days per week? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. And then our next timeline series, which will be number 11, part 1, we'll pick right up where we left off here.